Hey, what's up YouTube? Blaze Templar here with another battle. This one was against a friend of mine on line named Wulf, and I challenged him to an Ubers match because really you don't get to see a lot of Ubers in Wi-Fi X and Y actual settings, so I figured it was a good way to get started and get that up. So looks like his defensive core is that Lugia and probably the Heatran, I'm guessing, while mine is the Ferrothorn and Giratina. Offensive threats on my side being Deoxys Attack, Mewtwo, and so on. He does have a Mewtwo as well, always a threat. Groudon could potentially be a big problem, but most of my team outspeeds Groudon, so I'm not overly threatened by it. I don't want to leave like Scissor in on it, of course, because of the threatening Fire Punch or something. But anyway, let's get right into the match. Leads with the Heatran, and thankfully this is a mostly physically based Deoxys attack, so I can easily smash that Heatran with the superpower. But he does have the Focus Sash, so he survives it and is able to retaliate with his Earth Power, and we're both down to our sashes at this point. So it's not a bad situation to be in, but I kind of wanted to leave Deoxys Sash intact for a while longer. But hey, Heatran's broken his, so we're not looking too bad. Anyway, in comes the Lugia to take the second superpower. It's -1 already, and it's resisted. And of course it's Lugia, so that does like absolutely nothing. After leftovers, I think he would get right back up to full HP. It doesn't look like he's carrying the leftovers though, so I decided just to go for the Stealth Rock this turn, in case he decides to kill me. But no, he does decide that his optimum play would be just to start setting up Calm Minds, and that's a problem because at this point Deoxys really can't do anything to Lugia, and so I'm gonna have to swap out, and I go into Scissor. It's banded, adamant natured, and so I can just start pursuit trapping it. That's my idea, and the Ice Beam does pretty much nothing thanks to the resistance and Scissor's high HP. So pursuit, and he does Whirlwind me out. And this begins the very annoying series of just trying to kill this blasted Lugia. This thing just never dies. I'm just fortunate that he didn't have rocks up, because if he did, it would have been a lot harder to deal with the Lugia, as he does go for yet another Roost. And at this point I thought maybe because I had shown I had the pursuit and it is hitting him pretty hard, he may want to swap out, preserve his Lugia for later. But so I do go for the U-turn, but that was a fallacy for me to do so. It would have been just safer to go for that pursuit, just in case he decided to pull out. It still would have done a massive amount of damage, and he may not have been able to switch in again. So thanks to Stealth Rock. So either way, it would have been best just to go for that pursuit. But I decided maybe my timid Lugia. I wish I had a timid Lugia at this point, but my timid Palkia can do enough damage to deal with this Lugia. But Strike with the Thunder does some really nice damage, but unfortunately he is faster, so he's able to just basically sit there and roost and make my life miserable. And unfortunately, the two Thunders I do drop on him don't get the paralysis, but on the plus side, at least they hit, so there is that. But I realize this match is really not going to be in my favor. I may miss a Thunder or whatever, so I'm just going to swap, go into Ferrothorn, get the Leech Seed off so I can start getting some residual off on this thing, kind of forcing it to roost more frequently than it wants to, and help get Scissor back up in HP. Those are kind of the reasons I'm doing this here. So thankfully my Leech Seed does hit, and as it does, he Whirlwinds me out. And for some reason, Camtasia is being a little bit of an annoyance today, but oh well. Anyway, go into Palkia, buy the Whirlwinds, and I already know that I would lose this fight, so I'm going to just switch right out. If things had turned out ideally, I would have been Whirlwinded into Scissor, but didn't happen for me. So he does go for yet another Ice Beam, which kind of surprised me. I thought he'd Roost, just so his HP was nice and high, and then he could like Calm Mind and do all those shenanigans again, but I guess he just wanted to get some damage off. At this point, this does surprise me because at this point, really, if he tries to roost between Pursuit and the Leech Seed, he loses too much health, and so that does put him in a difficult situation. He lost everything there, so now he has to make a choice. Is he going to switch out Roost? What is he going to do? He decides to go for second Roost, and really at this point it's just stalling, and Scissor's going to kill the Lugia, thankfully. But at this point it's finally checkmated, and I'm relieved. But good grief, this thing was insanely hard to take out. Don't underestimate Lugia's bulk, but for some, I don't really understand why he decided to switch. But of course, Pursuit, how it works, if you try to switch out, it does double damage. But he does go into Scrafty, and this could have been a big problem. And I know it because Scrafty's a threat, and it has nice bulk. It does have nice bulk. So I decide my best bet is to go into my own Giratina as he bulks up, meaning, thankfully for me, it is the bulk up set. I think I can deal with that a lot better than, say, the Dragon Dance set. So I'm just going to go straight for the Dragon Tail, and thanks to Giratina's base speed being a fair amount higher than his... Great, I lost my train of thought, but thanks to it being faster than Scrafty, his attempt to Dragon Tail me out doesn't succeed. Only reason why I know that is because he would have gone first if he'd gone for basically anything else. But goes into Darkrai after getting Dragon Tailed out, and I know I can take one Dark Pulse normally, but unfortunately, thanks to the crit, not able to take it, and go right into Deoxys attack form. So, big threat for him. He knows that I outspeed, I'm guessing, so he does switch, goes into his Heatran as basically Death Fodder, so he can bring in something else in safely, and of course my superpower hits nothing, so it looks kind of derpy on my part. But he does go into Groudon. Now this thing is a bit of a threat at this point because I don't have Giratina to tank Groudon's hits anymore. So what I'm going to do is just go for that second move that I haven't shown off yet, and that is the Psycho Boost. Like I said, this is a very strange set. It runs Stealth Rock, Psycho Boost, Super Power, Extreme Speed, and I think that's everything. So it's an interesting set, but unfortunately Psycho Boost wasn't quite enough to take out the Groudon, and so I'm going to go into Mewtwo and fire off the Aura Sphere, take out Groudon before it becomes a problem, and Mewtwo is going to go on a little rampage here. A lot of his team's been weakened. It's faster than most of his team except his Mewtwo, and at worst I have a speed tie. So I potentially could hit everything before it has a chance to hit me and hopefully take the game. Darkrai unfortunately goes down before it can do anything. Thankfully for me, though, I know Wulf probably wanted it to do a little more. Sorry, guy. Anyway, now it's Mewtwo versus Mewtwo. Now the question is, will I outspeed, hit it with the Shadow Ball, knock it out before it can do so to me? We're both running the pressure, but he goes for the Ice Beam. He does win the speed tie, but unfortunately for him, he did not carry the Shadow Ball, and so I'm able to take out his Mewtwo without too much of a threat, and this game looks like it may be mine now. Life Orb Mewtwo. I know a lot of people are running like the Mewtwo Y, but I personally still like just the Life Orb basic Mewtwo, and now I can just finish off this damage to Scrafty with another attack with the Aura Sphere. Even if he'd been running like max special defense, I'm pretty sure I could have taken out. And so that will be the game, and I hope you enjoyed. And yes, I'll be working on the camera, trying to make things look better, but I think that was a pretty good first match for YouTube. Anyway, I'm going to also work on improving, getting the quality of my narrations up there so there's not so many blank spaces, etc. So please let me know what you think, comment, or whatever, and I'll talk to you next time. Enjoy.